Here we are back out on the bank, and not only that, I am back out on the bank for my first session of my winter ticket. Now, it's not something I usually do in my angling, is kind of commit to one place in particular, but as I say, it's coming into the sort of late end of autumn. We'll be heading into the winter, and I want to guarantee myself some fishing so that I can bring you some regular content throughout those colder months. So an opportunity come up for a winter ticket, and yeah, I snatched at the opportunity to get my hands on one. Now with this, I decided to challenge myself throughout those sort of colder months to kind of keep the motivation really in my fishing and kind of keep me active whilst out on the bank. So if you've been following any of my social media, you would have seen that I put out to all of my followers across all of my social media platforms to create me some challenges, basically. You know, whether it's catch on a certain bait, catch from a certain lake, a fish of a certain size, whatever it may be, the weird and wonderful, I put that out to you guys. And yeah, I had probably about 15-20 submissions in regards to what challenges I should put myself up against throughout my winter ticket. It's my first session on the winter ticket, so I've picked a challenge that I feel is suitable for the lake that I've been able to book onto, and not only that, that I think is achievable as well. So Neen Valley Fishing, if my memory serves me correct. I'll stick a little snip of the comment up here. Put a challenge forward for me to catch a 20-pound mirror and a 20-pound common in the same session. Now, the lake that I've booked onto for this weekend could quite easily do that. There's 20-pound commons in here. There's 20-pound mirrors in here. There's even, I believe, a couple of fish knocking around to the 30-pound mark as well, which was another challenge submitted by one of you guys as well. So there is a possibility. I'm not going to get ahead of myself at all, but there's a possibility that we can tick off maybe one of the challenges with a 20-pound mirror and a 20-pound common. And yeah, if one of those 29s was now a 30, then yeah, one of those two could be knocking around in here as well. But like I say, not going to get ahead of myself. Let's just try and complete the first challenge that I chose from the list. But yeah, it's flat calm, it's mild, it's warm. I'm sweating just from pushing the barrow down from the car park. But yesterday and last night, we had an absolute barrage of rain. I think, according to the news, the weather reports, we had a month's worth of rain in a single day, which yeah, I don't know what that's going to do to the fishing. I've spoken to the angler just further up on the bank, because there are only 2 swims on here which can be used as doubles, and he had a fish within 40 minutes of arriving yesterday, and he's also had one through the night as well. So it's looking promising. This half of the lake has been unfished for, you know, at least 24 hours since the other angler arrived. So there may be 1 or 2 knocking around down here away from the angling pressure that's been up that end of the lake. Who knows? But the only way I'm going to find out is by getting that lot sorted, getting the boat out, and having a little look around. Now, you might think using the bait boat is probably a bit OTT on this lake. It is small, it is intimate, but that is exactly the reason why I want to use the boat to find myself free spots. Now, I fished this lake a little while ago. I can't remember how long ago, but it's been a decent amount of time. And when I did, there was no weed in here whatsoever. It was pretty new, no weed, but it's obviously matured over that time. You know, the natural vegetation has grown, etc. So the fish look decent. The weed growth has helped the water, and it's just thrived, and it's yeah, it's mega. But like I said, I don't want to go fresh in the water to a foam. Trying to find myself 3 spots when I've got the boat that I can just drift around all of this water, map out this water, and find myself 3 spots that I can commit to. just about to load up the boat with the third and final rod. So as I say, just using crumb, real sort of light baiting approach really, nothing too heavy, nothing too bulky, anything like that. Just want to try and nick a bite at a time. So at home I've prepared a load of boilie crumb in there. There's a load of nut 365 in there, load of little sort of mini pellets as well, mini sort of 2.3s and 4s, nothing bigger than 4mm on the pellet front. As I say, a load of crushed up boilie, so it just makes a cloud, makes a bit of a carpet, and a load of nut 365 liquid as well. So that just oozes attraction on the lake bed, just creates a nice little cloud, nice little carpet. I've got some leftover blitz in here as well. That's crumbed down even finer, and when I'm just kind of using the scoop to put it into the boat, I am just sifting out the bigger pieces as well. So I really don't want you know, any sort of larger pieces in and amongst this mix. I want it to be sort of fine and as bitty as possible. So that'll be going in there. And then last but not least, good old maggots. I haven't used maggots in ages. So yeah, I thought I'd grab a pint and a half just to add a little bit something extra to the mix. Obviously they're much lighter, they'll flutter down, they'll sort of spread out as the boat hoppers open, and just adds another extra element of sort of pulling power really. I haven't put any maggots on the actual hook baits or anything, because from just watching over the water, it seems like yeah, the sort of smaller fish are still really active. It's not cold and it's not freezing by any means. So yeah, it's just something else in the mix, something light, something not too heavy and not too bulky. So I'm going to load the boat up then with the final hopper load of bait to go out to my third and final spot. That'll be all 3 rods fishing, and I'll just kind of show you where I've deployed the bait and the rigs, and yeah, hopefully they'll do me a bite over the next 24 hours or so. Let me just show you where I've deployed 3 rigs, because I am absolutely starving. Now, got one just off the corner of this island. There's like, I don't know, looks like a stick, maybe a branch, but it's bolt upright. And just off of that, it drops down into sort of 3.5 foot of water, and it's really clean. So I wanted one in and around the island. It's the only sort of obvious feature in this little lake. So I wanted one in and around that area, and yeah, that is the spot that I found. So a rig has gone down there with a nice little scattering of the bait that I showed you. And not only that, I've deployed it on a single stick down there as well. I usually use my pod, but there's some sort of like little bushes and stuff at the front of the swim, and I wanted this rod pointing sort of pretty much directly at the rig, because I didn't want it sort of getting in underneath maybe like the overhanging branches or anything like that, or anything that might be in and around the area of that island. So I put the rod on a single stick down there, and then I've got the other 2, where are they, down there on a bank stick sort of buzz bar setup, 2 rods set up, and they are pretty much going out. One into sort of mid water, really nice sort of clean spot that I found again, and then over sort of maybe 3/4 of the way over on the right hand rod, again another clean spot. So they are small, they aren't massive by any means, but they're I wanted to fish sort of on the cleaner stuff rather than into the low lying weed. But if for any reason that the rigs sort of, you know, did drop short or went left or right or whatever, you know, just didn't land quite true. As I said when I showed you the rigs, the booms are more than long enough to just lay over the top of any of the bottom sort of debris or sort of low-lying weed that we got out in front of us. So yeah, that is pretty much it. It's flat calm, not a single bit of wind, but you never know. The shows have stopped, but that might have just been because I've stuck the boat out 3 times. So yeah, they haven't got far to hide. They've got nowhere to hide really, other than just yeah, not showing any interest in my bait or rigs. It's not like they've got any out of bounds, any snags, anything like that, other than the back of this island. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. 3 rods are out. I'm absolutely starving. I need a coffee and some breakfast. Fingers crossed for the rest of the session.
Coasting just like before. I'm decomposing and I'm restored. Beep, 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 wake up another morning to get through. And I'm wrapped around a thread. Wherever it goes, it'll happen once again. Wherever it goes, I will plead with the sky to be let go. Never happen. And I hide in the day, gotta fall in a pace, and I let go everything that got in the way, and I'm drunk with a taste.
Alright, so it's coming up to 4 PM and absolutely nothing has happened today. I've seen the odd 1 or 2 shows, but yeah, nothing to report at the moment. I am literally just re-rigging the 3rd rod with a fresh hook bait, etc. for the evening. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the angler just up to my left did have one last night just into dark, just after 5 PM. So it's coming up to around 4 PM now, and I'm just going to get the 3 rods sorted. So as I say, 2 have gone out already. This is the 3rd and final rod, and yeah, just get it sorted really before dark. That way I'm fishing, don't need to faff around in the dark, cause any unnecessary disturbance. If you can see behind me, yes, I have moved lakes. Now, it just didn't happen over the last 24 hours, and I wasn't willing to sit there any longer for the remainder of my session. So I packed up in the dark around sort of 6 AM. I knew there was one other angler on the Specimen Lake, and yeah, just after 7 AM I made the barrow push round to the Specimen Lake, and now I have this entire lake to myself. In all honesty, the swim over on Alder, I'm never confident in that swim. It's not my favoured swim. If I was going to be fishing up there, I would have preferred to be up in the peg, just a bit further up on the bank. And the reason I didn't come onto the Specimen Lake at the start of my session was because there was an exclusive booking from Friday 7 AM to Saturday 7 PM. So I was willing to sit it out over there for the night, to see if obviously anything materialized. But the fact that it didn't meant that I could come and explore this lake for the remainder of the day. Now I need to get a move on. Obviously the day will pass in a blink of an eye if I don't get a wriggle on and get these rods sorted. So yeah, I've got the entire lake to play with. As far as I'm aware, no one else is booked on, and if they were here already, the gates have already been opened. So yeah, they would have been setting up and, you know, taking up a peg and stuff like that. So I've got this lot to play with. I know a few spots and fishing this lake in the past, and yeah, I'm just going to explore those quickly because this lake can get weedy at times. I don't know what the weed is like at this time of year, but yeah, I'm going to explore, find a few spots that I know of and I've done me bites in the past, and then get these 3 rods out, and hopefully I can salvage something out of this session, even if it's just catching a fish. So yeah, let's get a wriggle on, get these rods out, and keep everything crossed for a bite through the day.
Sure I'm coasting just like before. I'm decomposing and I'm restored. Beep, 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 wake up another morning to get through. And I'm wrapped around a thread. Wherever it goes, it'll happen once again.
You're gonna have to excuse me for looking a little bit like Kenny from South Park, because we have got a freezing cold wind blowing straight down the lake. We've got some really cold temperatures moving in next week. I don't think at any point through next week it's getting any warmer than 10 degrees, but with the wind coming from the north as well, it's probably not even going to feel like that. But yeah, based on what's blowing through here, that is definitely on its way. Now I have sacrificed the rod that was up here and moved it down here. Seen a couple of shows down the margin, just down here, weirdly, but they seem to be in there, so wasted no time getting that rod and just flicking it straight down there. One cast, little plop, just walked around the bank and just chucked a handful of broken baits, chops, just a little scattering of bits and pieces amongst it, because if there is one or two maybe mooching around down there, then I want to try and hopefully pick one of them off to save this session. Now the other two, the one that's out in open water at the bottom of like a little sunken island, little sunken plateau, that has had 3 almighty badouches over it. A proper lump is boshed out over that 3 times, and they got to know that there's bait down there, because I've glugged it up to the max, you know, chucked a load of liquid down there to try and pull them down. It's got broken boilie in there, chops, it's got the maggots, it's got the crumb, you know, nice little attraction rather than a load of feed. So those 2 rods that are fishing out to a spot that done me loads of bites in the past, and the one out into open water, they're just staying there. I might just maybe use the left hand rod as a bit of a rover if I see fish show like I did down that margin, and just see if I can nick myself a bite. But yeah, it's probably coming up to 1 PM now, and I'm hoping that I can try and salvage something from this session. Just been having a bit of a pack down, a bit of a tidy up, had some filming and photographs to do in between whilst having the rods out, which kept me active and kept me warm. But yeah, on the fish front, nothing to report as of yet, but they are showing themselves and they are giving themselves away. So plenty of time. I'm in no rush to get home. Ideally, I want to try and pass this challenge, or at least stick a fish on the bank. This place has been kind to me in the past, but yeah, just wondering if that kindness is just starting to run out. I'll have to wait and see, I suppose, but for now, yeah, it's looking beautiful. Bit of blue sky. Maybe if the sun pokes its head out, it might warm me up a little bit, but that is state of play. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the afternoon. It's just after 5 PM. The sun is just setting down the end of the lake, and I am staring my very first blank at Woodside Lakes in the face. Those rods have remained motionless, all bar a small liner on the left-hander when Rich come down for a little chat. Now, before, on any of my other previous sessions, Rich has come down, had a little chat, and whilst he's here, he has basically brought me a bite. But on this occasion, no, we only got the liner. So yeah, it's going into the evening, the sun is setting, and I'm going to give it an hour into dark. So by 6 PM I will be having these rods in. Now, giving it an hour into the dark has paid off for me down here before, and I'm hoping that it pays off for me again, because I am desperate to put a fish on the bank. Yeah, I failed the challenge. There's no given terms. That's failed. But I just don't want to blank, because this place has been so kind to me in the past sessions. So yeah, hopefully, just hopefully, one of those 3 go rattling off. just been speaking to an angler who's come down to do the night tonight, and we've seen one or two shows in the last 5 minutes or so. So they are starting to get about again. The shows had died off in the last few hours, but they are starting to give themselves away again. So just going to keep everything crossed that I get one last opportunity of sticking a fish on the mat. But I will wrap it up there. I will hopefully have to get this camera back out to show you that I'm holding up a nice big fat carp. But if I don't, thank you for watching. It's been a bit of a grueler, this session. Not really panned out how I wanted it to, but I've given it my best shot. I can't really do more. I've tried to be proactive and motivated about trying to make it happen, but it just hasn't. So giving it my all. As always, thank you for watching. Get in touch on any of my social media. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Getting ever closer to the 7,000 subscribers now, so it really does help the channel grow. And I will catch up with you next time I am out on the bank.